Neanderthals weren't dumb. Not even close. These guys survived brutal Ice Age winters for over 300,000 years. They made fire on command. They crafted tools sharp enough to take down a woolly mammoth. They took care of their sick and their injured. And then, somehow, within a few thousand years of us showing up, they were just gone. So, what happened? Was it a war? A massacre? Did we just wipe them out? Here's the thing. There's no smoking gun. No mass grave. No last stand battlefield. No ancient skeleton with a sign around its neck saying, "Killed by Homo sapiens." The truth is way messier than that. And honestly, way more interesting. Let's get into it. Picture a small Neanderthal band, somewhere in Ice Age Europe, about 45,000 years ago. Maybe 20 people. They know this land like the back of their hand, where the water doesn't freeze, when the deer migrate, which rocks make the best spearheads. This isn't some primitive group stumbling around. This is a smart, functioning little society. But it's small, and small is dangerous. One bad winter, one hunting accident, a couple of teenagers leave to join another group. Suddenly you've lost your best tracker, your best toolmaker, maybe the only person who knew where to find good flint. That knowledge? Gone with them. Now compare that to a group of a few hundred. Lose 5 people? Barely a dent. Lose 5 people from a band of 20? That's basically your whole future. Genetic studies actually back this up. Some Neanderthal groups, like one found in a Siberian cave, show signs of serious inbreeding. Close relatives having kids together. Not because they wanted to, but because there just weren't a lot of options left. So here's answer number 1. Neanderthals weren't beaten in a fight. They were just really, really few in number. And small populations are fragile. One bad decade and the whole thing can unravel. But it's not just about head count. Bigger populations protect ideas. Think about it this way. Say 10 expert toolmakers are teaching 20 students spread across a bunch of connected camps. That skill? It's not going anywhere. It'll survive for generations. Now say it's just one guy teaching his nephew, and the nephew would honestly rather be throwing rocks at birds. One bad season, one death, and that skill just vanishes. No backup. No one else knows how. That's the real advantage early humans had. Not necessarily smarter individuals, a bigger, more connected web of people. Evidence shows Homo sapiens were trading shells and stone across huge distances, way farther than you'd expect. That tells us something. They were staying connected, trading, building alliances. And in a world where any stranger could be a threat or a lifeline, having friends in far-off places? That's basically survival insurance. Here's the part that blows people's minds. Neanderthals aren't fully extinct. If you've got European or Asian ancestry, there's a good chance 1 to 2% of your DNA is Neanderthal. Right now, in you. That changes the whole story. Imagine that same tiny Neanderthal band of 20 runs into an incoming group of 200 modern humans. One Neanderthal joins up, has kids. Repeat that over a few generations, across different regions, and the population disappears, but the genes don't. They just get folded into ours. Nobody killed the last Neanderthal. Their descendants just became us. And get this, Recent research suggests it went both ways, way earlier than we thought. Modern human DNA has turned up in Neanderthal genomes too. These two groups weren't strangers meeting once for a dramatic showdown. They'd been crossing paths, on and off, for a very long time. Both get thrown around a lot, and both probably played some role, just maybe not the starring one. Two populations separated for hundreds of thousands of years would have carried totally different bugs. New contact could have meant new infections neither side had defenses for. Rough on a big population, potentially devastating on a small one. As for weapons, yeah, early Homo sapiens did use a wider range of tools and possibly better long-range hunting gear. But Neanderthals weren't cavemen swinging clubs. They used pigments, glue-like adhesives, specialized blades. The tech gap, if it existed, probably wasn't huge. Honestly, one-on-one, in a cave, with the same weapons, the Neanderthal probably wins. They were physically stronger than us, no contest. But species don't survive fistfights. They survive by raising enough kids to replace the ones they lose. And that's the real answer here. Homo sapiens didn't need to be smarter, didn't need to win a single battle. They just needed slightly more babies to survive, slightly more connections to lean on, and slightly better odds, stacked up, generation after generation, for thousands of years. A tiny edge, repeated enough times, becomes an entire outcome. That's it. That's the whole story. We love telling ourselves we won because we were better, smarter, stronger, destined to succeed. But evolution doesn't care about deserving anything. It just keeps whatever manages to keep having kids under the conditions it's handed. Sometimes that's about brains. Sometimes it's dumb luck, geography, or which group happened to have 3 extra people that winter. Neanderthals survived for hundreds of thousands of years, longer than we've been around so far. Calling them a failed species is a little rich coming from a species still arguing about whether the planet's on fire. Their story didn't end in one dramatic battle. It faded out, quietly, unevenly, over thousands of years, in valleys and caves we'll probably never find. Some bands held on a little longer in hidden corners of Europe. We may never know where the very last ones were. But in a weird way, they never really left. They're still here, in your DNA, in mine.